Sanitation Department says it's working tirelessly to assist municipalities in KwaZulu-Natal that are facing water challenges. This after the South African Human Rights Commission released its final report and recommendations following an investigation into water challenges in that province. Let's now speak to DA Chairperson Dean MacPherson on water issues in KZN, with irregular expenditures in the province's municipalities being a common occurrence. Thank you so much, Mr. MacPherson, for speaking to us on Newsnight this evening. Can you tell us first what prompted the legal challenge that you've brought before the courts? Clearly, you disagree with our introduction. You think that the department or the provincial or local authorities are not doing enough to address these water challenges.
Well, good evening to you and to all the viewers. I think that the DA has had to take a position in KwaZulu-Natal that has informed us to seek recourse through the courts more and more, because local government and the provincial government is just failing to do its job. And so instead of being able to deal with these things through councils and through the legislature, there is just an arrogance that has beset the ANC and the EFF, where they co-govern in many municipalities like in eThekwini and Msunduzi, that just ignore any rational reason or argument, particularly from the DA. And so there's a number of issues that we have had to take to court now, the latest being a challenge against 27 million rand that the Msunduzi local municipality has made available to an billionaire's football club, while at the same time they are unable to spend money on infrastructure. They're unable to spend money on any service delivery. The municipality has been under administration for 4 years, and it is technically bankrupt. Now, the provincial government should be stepping in to fix those issues. We're also in litigation with the eThekwini municipality because the sewage crisis continues to flow literally unabated through the streets and through the rivers of this municipality. And eThekwini is just unwilling to do anything about it. They prioritize parties for officials, picnics at concerts, and then at the same time tell communities that there's no money to fix anything. So I think that, unfortunately, we are having to take this action of litigating more and more because the provincial government and national government is not stepping in to do its job. And so it was no wonder that we then saw the outcomes of the South African Human Rights Commission into the state of water affairs in this province.
The DA has been accused of grandstanding around this issue of water challenges in the province. There's been litigation all over the country from numerous political parties, not only the DA, on a number of service delivery issues. The litigation takes time, and often citizens, residents of certain municipalities don't see the outcome of that litigation, within a period of time where they're facing dire challenges. What is the impact of this specific litigation, these two separate court cases in Msunduzi and eThekwini? What is the importance for residents in the province?
Well, I mean, I think just go and ask the residents of those two municipalities whether they think the DA is grandstanding about service delivery failure in their municipalities. And they would tell you that the answer is absolutely no. But I wish we didn't have to embark on this. As you said, it's time consuming and it's expensive, which we have to pay for and then seek the costs later from government. So if just local government and the ANC and the EFF in this province spent money on projects that deliver services, fix communities instead of pampering politicians, if they gave money to fixing infrastructure instead of a billionaire's football club, then we wouldn't be in this position. But the bigger question is why does the ANC provincial government not intervene when these issues become apparent? Now, Msunduzi's collapse is not something overnight. It's been going on for the last 4 years and nothing happened. But the provincial government is very quick to interfere and intervene in the only DA-run municipality which is actually providing services. It's not stealing the money, and it is looking after the residents in that municipality. Extrapolate that into national government, and one has to ask why it is that eThekwini has not been placed under administration, despite national government threatening a Section 154 intervention, which was to provide technical assistance to the municipality to run its affairs. That was 6 months ago. So, if anyone's grandstanding, it's actually the ANC grandstanding against the ANC. And I wish that they would do something, national government, so that we could actually fix the lives of the poor residents that have to embark on this terrible journey of not being able to drink safe water, having sewage running through their streets and their homes, and the complete collapse of service delivery that we see on a daily basis in this province.
So the South African Human Rights Council, in their report into the water crisis in the province, found a couple of things. You've mentioned some of them already, that the root causes of the challenges are due to a lack of infrastructure maintenance, a lack of investment into infrastructure, a failure to employ staff with the necessary skills or qualification, poor billing and debt management, massive losses through leaking infrastructure. Those being just the root causes, they also said, and I want to read here, that the Department of Water and Sanitation nationally, the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs nationally, and the KZN legislature had also failed to ensure that municipalities do not violate residents' rights to access to clean drinking water. So apart from court action against the municipalities themselves, there's obviously much larger issues at play and larger structures that need to be taken on for not playing those roles. We see you doing that in Parliament, but in the case of KZN, what's the action plan to get things fixed?
Well, it certainly doesn't sound like grandstanding, all those points that you read out to me. Those are the horrific consequences of ANC governance and rule in KwaZulu-Natal. So we are headed into a very important election next year. It's just 7 months away. Between our partners, the IFP, we are now 4% ahead of the ANC EFF in the latest survey done by the Social Research Foundation that showed that if election was held tomorrow, the ANC and EFF would not come close to winning. And our two parties at least would be ahead of them. So we are being very clear, certainly as the Democratic Alliance, that day one, when we are in government, is we are going to take the tough action that is required. We're certainly going to be placing eThekwini under administration. We're going to deal with the chaotic administration that exists in Msunduzi. And we're going to start to root out the corruption, maladministration, and crooked officials that are not interested in putting people's lives ahead of politicians. That is going to be our mantra when we are in government, is that the people will always come first. There will be no parties, there will be no luxuries. We're going to make sure that when you turn on the tap, clean water comes out. That when you walk down the street, you're not going to be walking through sewage. Those are how we get the fundamentals right and the basics right. That is why the Western Cape is, by any measure, according to national government's own statistics, far and above any other province in South Africa in terms of access to clean water, in terms of service delivery, and in terms of infrastructure maintenance. The city of Cape Town, in its medium-term budget over the next 3 years, will be spending more money than eThekwini, the city of Johannesburg, and Mangaung combined on infrastructure, maintenance, and development. That's what we mean that when we say we must spend money on people and not on politicians. And those are the sorts of actions that we can do and we can implement. And I'm sure that we can turn these situations around given the chance. And that's what we're going to be taking to the electorate in this next election.
Well, thank you so much for speaking to us. Those elections, unfortunately, 7 to 8 months away. Residents in KZN sitting with a dire water crisis in the meantime, and nothing but active citizenry, it looks like, will address that situation. Hopefully they are at least getting water tankers, but we have heard that water tankers are also being used as a lucrative enterprise where those with money get first access to water tankers. And that was KZN's DA Chairperson Dean MacPherson.